Check. Good evening, fastball fans, and welcome to the 2018 ISC World Tournament here in Kitchener, Ontario at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. This evening's game features the Fargo Kegel Black Knights taking on the Kitchener Hallman Twins, the host team, in winners bracket action here on the ISC network. I'm Blair Setford here on the network, and we're getting set to bring you the nightcap here on Monday evening as the Kitchener Hallman Twins in their navy blues take on the Fargo Kegel Black Knights in their new dark reds. Fancy looking uniforms, Joe Todd, and I thought Kegel might have been a contender for best dressed, but that was won by the Rio Grande Senators.
For the Kegel Black Knights tonight, really it's almost like a dark red, but really great contrasting, and with the white outline of the number, it's easy to show that big bold number.
For the Kegel Black Knights, it'll be Kyle Ezekiel leading things off, followed by Jeff Lewis, then BJ Gullick, Mike Lewis, Ryan Kirk, Zach Yerkman, Zach Warren, Jim Harms, and Mitch Warren in the 9 spot. Brady Woods will be the pitcher for the Kegel Black Knights. For the Kitchener Hallman Twins, Jonathan Lynch, Teo Migliavacca, and Jeff Novacek. Left to right in your outfield, Derek Mason, Ian Fairman, Brandon Horn, Steve Mullally around the horn on the infield, and it is Sean Cleary working to longtime battery mate and partner Ryan Boland. And we are underway. Sean Cleary blows one right by Kyle Ezekiel. A couple years ago, when Sean Cleary was with the Toronto Gators and Kyle Ezekiel was with the Canada Storm at the 2015 ISC World Tournament in South Bend, Kyle Ezekiel would go for 3 for 3 off of Sean Cleary in that game. And I asked Sean after the game, do you owe Kyle some money or something? What was that all about? But I guess Kyle has had Sean's number back in the St. John's League at home. And just one of those things where one guy just owns another. We'll see what happens tonight if that is the case. Kyle Ezekiel, the third family member to make it onto the ISC Network broadcast here this week. Last night we had older brother Blair with the Victoria Circle Tap Dukes. Earlier this afternoon we saw Brad Ezekiel smash a line drive home run. We'll see if Kyle can follow suit. He had a big home run in their opening 3-0 win over the Waterdown Hammer. Kim Hansen, a no-hitter in that game for the Kegel Black Knights. Kyle in the Team Canada pool for the 40-man roster. At least he was. I believe he might still be. He was on the team that went down to the Pan Am qualifier in Santo Domingo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he still is listed.
Full count. Kyle Ezekiel, first batter of the game here for the Fargo Kegel Black Knights, taking on Kitchener Hallman Twins. If you're just getting in with us here on the ISC Network, it's Blair Setford and Joe Todd. And upstairs, that is ball 4, according to my count, at least anyway. And Kyle Ezekiel, unclear that it was ball 4, but nonetheless now makes his way down to first. And a leadoff walk. Joe Todd, how often?
66% of the time will come in to score.
Jeff Lewis will step into the left side batter's box and try to help make that happen. Cleary winds, works, bunt attempt, pulls back. So Fargo willing to play the small ball game early here against the Hallman Twins. Trying to get out in front early. That's always a good sign, Joe, if you can.
Well, you want to get a quick jump on anyone. Pitcher can be that much more comfortable, too, with the lead.
And didn't look very comfortable there with that attempt on the bunt, fouling it straight back to the screen. Almost pulled back from it, did Jeff Lewis. So Kyle Ezekiel, a leadoff walk, stands over at first base. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jeff Lewis at the plate, and now 2-1. Cleary, a little bit of difficulty trying to find the range early here, it seems. Sean often at his best, as most pitchers are, when he is working ahead. And there's a called strike. And having watched Sean up close from 2014 through 2016, when Sean is attacking the zone and really getting after batters, I found it was when Sean was at his best. And when he does that, he can be absolutely dominating, as he is with that pitch there, an inside drop that just ties up Jeff Lewis, and he's down on strikes. That'll bring up BJ Gullick, a longtime member of this Fargo Kegel Black Knights squad. He and Mike Lewis have been around a long time in these uniforms, along with Zach Warren, Jim Harms, Mitch Warren. Missing outside.
Just Jeff Lewis, the batter that just preceded BJ Gullick, is also involved in the USA Junior program.
Well, the Lewis family, that name features very prominently with the Kegel Black Knights program. Jeff, Mike, and John Lewis all on the roster.
I believe one of them is a coach, too. Is his dad coaching? I could be wrong there, but
I believe there is a Lewis on the coaching staff. You're right as well. I believe you're right. Upstairs from Sean Cleary, just not quite finding the strike zone of our home plate umpire, Rob Duran, at the moment. Tony Dixon is out at first base, and Brandon Bloom is our umpire at third. The third team out in the field tonight. Cleary again misses downstairs, so falling behind 3-1 to BJ Gullick.
Throwing a lot of pitches early in the game here.
Well, and we saw that in the previous game. When you fall behind and you issue the walks, they tended to come around and bite you. A lot of them in the previous game. Here's a little 1-2-3 hopper to Mason. He fires over to first for the only out he was going to get. That little slow roller offered no opportunity for the double play. And easily up to second base went Kyle Ezekiel.
Good basic play there by Derek Mason, going down to pick up the ball, coming up, step and throw. Great fundamentals.
Mike Lewis will step in as the cleanup batter for the Kegel Black Knights. And you talked about the fundamentals. Derek Mason does all of those fundamentals well every time.
He positions him so well in front of the ball on a defensive standpoint.
Strike one for Sean Cleary. Still trying to find some comfort level out there on the board, I think. I know harken back to 2014, and Sean really never comfortable on this particular mound, it seemed. Even last night in that game with the Alvinston Aces, I thought Sean never really fully looked comfortable. You see him right now doing some landscaping and a bit of a downward glance at the landing zone there.
If you're going to get to Sean Cleary, you need to get him in the early innings. Get stronger as the game gets going.
That is absolutely true. And there's a called strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes as Cleary working ahead of cleanup hitter Mike Lewis. Kyle Ezekiel, leadoff walk, stands out at second base. Jeff Lewis down on strikes. BJ Gullick, a ground out to third. And you're caught up here in the top of the first inning. If you're just getting in with us on the ISC network for our nightcap here on Monday night, it's Blair Setford and Joe Todd the Fargo Kegel Black Knights and Kitchener Hallman Twins. A changeup from Sean Cleary, a real good one. That is strike 3. Down looking goes Mike Lewis and the Fargo Black Knights here at the top of the first. Stay with us on the ISC Network. Kitchener Hallman Twins coming to the plate.
To an ISC event? Then stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages to see when the next event will be near you and come be a part of the experience.
So we're back on the ISC Network as Brady Woods just completing the last of his warm-up tosses for the Kegel Black Knights. Woods, the lefty out of Manitoba, and has done a lot of pitching in the Fargo area over the years for this Kegel squad and some others. And Kegel, one of the bastions of fast-pitch softball in the U.S. Midwest, along with Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Kegel family have supported fastball in that area for a long time.
Yeah, they were given a big shout out by Ferdy Nellison in his Hall of Fame induction speech on Sunday morning, and that was a great Sunday morning Hall of Fame breakfast. I thought John Thompson and his crew, as they always do, a great job with that Hall of Fame ceremony, and it continues to be a highlight of the week here at the ISC World Tournament. Teo Miglavoca will lead things off for the Hallman Twins here at the bottom of the first inning. Big cut right away, jumping after that offering from Brady Woods. It'll be Miglavoca, Brandon Horn, Derek Mason, then Steve Mullally in the cleanup spot for the Hallman Twins as Miglavoca has a notion to bunt but pulls it back. Mullally followed by Ian Fairman, Ryan Boland, Andy Skelton, Jeff Novacek, and Jonathan Lynch in the 9 spot for the Hallman Twins. Swing and a miss again as that one went right by everybody, right back to the screen. Zach German, Mitch Warren, BJ Gullick left to right in the outfield for the Fargo Kegel Black Knights. Jim Harms, Kyle Ezekiel, Mike Lewis, Jeff Lewis on the infield around the horn from third to first. Swing and a foul back there by Miglavoca. Brady Woods will be working to Zach Warren. The designated player is Ryan Kirk. And called strike 3. Good pitch by Brady Woods on the outside corner. That little left-handed curveball tailing away from the lefty, just catching the front part of the plate. And that is a tough pitch on what is predominantly a left-handed lineup for the Hallman Twins.
Great location. It's going to be tough for Brady Woods to duplicate the effort put forward by Kyle Hansen in the game against the Waterdown Hammer yesterday. Kyle Hansen, 7 innings pitched, no hitter, 4 walks, and had 17 strikeouts.
Well, I think as the next guy up, you've got to realize, the odds of throwing a no-hitter are pretty slim. But what you do have to do is go out there and do your best to shut down this hard-hitting team. This one is going to get to the fence on a line as it goes over the head of German. Around second, a stumble, and into third, standing up, Brandon Horn, electrifying this crowd as he always does here at home at the Peter Hallman Ball-Yard.
Good power hit by Brandon Horn. Getting a runner to third base here early in the game.
Well, he did a great job of going with that outside pitch from Brady Woods. Took it over the head of German. That was over his head before he could turn around. One hop the fence, and Brandon Horn, even with that little bobble around second base, easily into third, standing up with the triple. And that brings up Derek Mason. Batting third, playing third tonight for the Twins. Downstairs from Woods. The trio of lefties at the top of the order for the Twins. Steve Mullally will give a bit of a break and bat right, and then back to the lefties with Fairman and Boland, and I believe Andy Skelton's. That's left or right? I can't remember.
Left, I believe.
I think you're right. No, left.
Correct.
Yeah. This is our final of 4 games here on the ISC Network as we wrap up our coverage on Sunday and Monday. We get down to 2 broadcasts in the winners bracket tomorrow and on Wednesday. On Thursday, we'll bring you the ISC 2 championship game scheduled for a 4 o'clock start on Thursday, and then some more winners round action in the ISC World Tournament. Friday will be a big day with lots of coverage, wall-to-wall coverage starting at 10 a.m. We dive down into the losers bracket to pick up the action there. Friday will be culminated with the undefeated game in the winners bracket. There's a couple of candidates early staking their claim to be in that game. There's a called strike on Derek Mason. New York Gremlins look pretty good today, Joe Todd, taking out the Niagara Snappers 9-2 in 6 innings. Hill United Chiefs get extended to the full 7 by the Pueblo Bandits. That game was 2-0 for the longest time before the Chiefs kind of pulled away at the end as Derek Mason works a walk. So that'll put runners on the corners with a hard-hitting Steve Mullally. I thought the Chiefs and the Gremlins were in control of both of those games at all times. There were moments where the Bandits had a bit of a look. Adam Falkert simply turned up the dial a little bit and shut it down. The Niagara Snappers got it to 4-2 for a couple of innings, but again, the Gremlins pulled away at the end and ended up with the 9-2 run rule win in 6 innings.
Pueblo Bandits had their chances early in that game.
They did. They got a couple of runners on base at one point, but I thought Adam just turned it up and really shut it down in a hurry.
Yeah, he seems to work a little bit better when runners get on base.
He's always tough, but bears down, and that's what makes Adam the top pitcher in the world. Mullally falls behind 0-2. Chase one upstairs on the first offering, and then look one right down the middle from Brady Woods for strike 2. Here's a guy, when he gets hot, can carry a team for several games at a time. We've seen it before. And this one just inside, just missing on the inside corner. I think that fooled Zach Warren a little bit too, whether it was the location or just not the pitch he was expecting. It looked like it handcuffed him a bit.
You wonder if he got crossed up or not.
This one just off the outside dish. Mullally taking all the way. Quick shoelace adjustment. Got to make sure the shoes are tied up, Joe Todd. You do not want to fall over with your shoes undone.
Little embarrassing.
And big swing and a foul back. Mullally never really gets cheated up there.
No, he always gets his big cuts in. He's got great bat speed. Brings his hands through very effectively.
Promising start to the inning with a strikeout of the leadoff batter, Teo Migliavaca, but Brandon Horn with a triple. And Derek Mason with the walk has runners on the corners for the Hallman Twins. And swing and a miss. Down goes Steve Mullally. That rise ball up in the eyes. Mullally chasing that one.
Usually has more plate discipline than that. He'll go back and he'll learn from that time at bat. And he'll be better for it the second time around.
You know, we talked about some of the hot hitters here in the tournament. This guy, one of them, Ian Fairman, putting on a clinic here so far this week.
2 home runs, 2 for 3 in that game against Elviston last night. 4 RBIs in the game.
This one downstairs from Woods will even the count at 1-1. A good opportunity here for the Hallman Twins to get on top early. Want to take advantage of these opportunities when they come around. Big cut again, but behind is Ian Fairman, and Brady Woods
he's bringing it tonight.
He's got some zip on it for sure. And that's always been the forte of Brady Woods. He's got that good curveball from the left side, and he's got good zip, but
can he maintain it for that 7th inning?
Oh, just missed downstairs. And I think where Brady Woods has run into trouble from time to time is he has one of those off innings, and it's usually just enough to throw him out of the off kilter. On the move, swing and a miss, strike 3. Brady Woods works into and out of trouble, gets 3 strikeouts, sandwiched around a triple and a walk. And through 1 complete, we are scoreless, headed to the top of 2. Stay with us here on the ISC Network.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
We'll head to the top of the 2nd inning for the Fargo Kegel Black Knights. Ryan Kirk, Zach German, and Zach Warren. Ryan Kirk from Newfoundland, so no stranger to Sean Cleary.
Ryan Kirk was 1 for 3 in the game against Waterdown Hammer yesterday. Kegel Black Knights only getting 4 hits in that game against hard-throwing Brian Newton.
2 of those 3, however, were home runs, one by Kyle Ezekiel.
Kyle was 2 for 2 in that game. He had a great game at the plate.
Little change up, and Kirk able to hold the hands back. I wonder if he was sitting there waiting for the change up.
Yeah. Good batters will sit on the bench and look for the pitch sequence. See if there's any type of pattern that the pitcher and the catcher are trying to establish.
We'll see if they throw it twice. Ryan Boland and Sean do like to work on doubling up the changeup, but not this time around. This one goes straight up the elevator shaft and gets a piece of one of the guys out here in behind the screen. You can see the guy there in the Yankee hat couldn't get out of the way of it. Right at the top of the steps. So Ryan Kirk trying to lead things off for Fargo. Just missing downstairs, Sean Cleary. And Joe, when you see a guy every other week in your league play, you do get to know what the habits are.
Well, it's a great advantage.
But not here, at least anyway, as Ryan Kirk down swinging. And that will bring up Zach German. Of course, on the other hand, I think, you know, the other way that particular pendulum swings is the way Sean throws and the way Ryan Boland and Sean approach the game is significantly different than the way that they do it back home in a Tuesday night league game in the St. John's League, even though it may be and probably is the best league in the country.
A lot more intense at this level.
Absolutely. Sean likely not going 100% every pitch, every game on Tuesday nights. Called strike up top. Been a great day here at the park. Lots of good games. A couple of teams, in fact more than a couple, the field now almost set for the ISC 2 tournament, which begins in earnest tomorrow. There's 12 teams eliminated from the ISC World Tournament, and that caught a real good piece of our home plate umpire, Rob Durand. It has been a rough night for home plate umpires here. Lou Davis, if you weren't with us in the Hill United game earlier with Pueblo this afternoon, the 4 o'clock game, Lou Davis took a pitch from Adam Fulkard in the top of the head as it went by everybody and was cut significantly in the top of the head, bleeding, came out of the game. Brandon Bloom came down early to replace Lou Davis. Lou refusing to go to the hospital and came out and umpired third base in the very next game, the New York Gremlins versus Niagara Snappers. Brandon Bloom was scheduled to be on third base for that game, but it was Lou Davis who came down, much to the astonishment of just about everybody in the crowd and up here in the booth. Tough guy, that Lou Davis.
Just hope he's okay.
We absolutely hope that Lou is okay and no lasting effects of that one. I'm told it was a pretty deep gash, too, so I don't know whether they were to get a Band-Aid on that or what, but hope Lou is okay and obviously looked okay during the Niagara game. Didn't have a lot to do over there at third base, which I'm sure he was probably pretty happy about.
Yes.
So 3 balls and 1 here to Zach German. And this one is laced down the right field line, tailing and hooking foul down the right side. Put a bit of a charge into it, but couldn't help the slice. Kind of like my golf game, Joe.
Well, yeah, I'm going to try and keep an eye on his feet here, because usually if a batter's potentially going to go that way, that front foot will be coming out. He's got his front pulled in, so that front foot must be slipping on him to go that way. A walk to Zach German. Puts the catcher, Zach Warren, now at the plate. We have 1 down and a runner at first base. We're in the top of the second inning, no score. Great pitch location there by Sean Cleary.
To me, it still looks like he's still trying to get comfortable out there on the board. I mean, this many walks, and it's only a couple, but it's 1 an inning here right now for Sean Cleary is really atypical. That's not the Sean Cleary we both know. Swing and a miss there, and that one got a piece of Ryan Boland. Holy cow. Is there anybody else that wants to go behind the dish here this week?
Nobody wants to go.
Wow. It is a tough night back there. On the other hand, if you'd stop calling the high drop. Oh, boy.
They've got some extra padding on there, but sometimes that doesn't matter.
I really don't think it does. Upstairs. Yeah, I'd have called a rise after that, too. Something easy to catch. I'd look for a changeup right here. Swinging a foul back straight to the screen. I'll tell you what, though, Ryan Boland and Shane Boland, tough as nails. You will not get either of those guys out of the game without a chain fall.
They love the game. They love to play it. They have a chance, they probably play it every night.
Well, their father, Dave Boland, a longtime player in the St. John's area, one of the most competitive guys you'll ever meet. And Dave playing in the Canadian Masters event a couple of years ago when the Canadian Men's Championships were down in St. John's, had the opportunity to go down there and work that event. What a great tournament that was in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. Just an absolutely fabulous city. And quickly become one of my favorite places to visit. I've been down there 3 times now, and I'll look forward to any opportunity to visit St. John's. Of course, Kelly's Pub, 3 Cheers Pub, sponsors here in the broadcast this week, and I'm fortunate enough to be associated with the 3 Cheers team. As down on strikes goes Zach Warren. So I feel like I'm almost an honorary Newfoundlander, Joe. I've been screeched in, too. So
oh, okay. I would think you
almost qualify.
Yeah, almost have to change your address.
Mississauga by way of Conception Bay. Jim Harms, the 8-batter for Kegel Black Knights, will try and see if he can move this runner around. Zach German's been out at first base. Swing and a miss. Cleary, I've put a lot of landscaping going on out there. He's going to start charging for the dirt removal.
Yeah, he's just not comfortable. You can tell by the way he's kind of prancing around the mound.
Prancing. Sean's going to be happy you used that verb. Prancing. Jim Harms in a hole 0-2. Sean Cleary looking to get out of the second inning and hold Zach German over at first base. This one is flared up on the infield. Calling for it is Brandon Horn. He will take it standing right beside Steve Mullally, and that will put pay to that inning. Sean Cleary gets another 2 strikeouts, and we'll head to the home half of the second inning. Scoreless, Fargo and Kitchener.
Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM, operating from the 6 nations of the Grand River Territory, is dedicated to the promotion of Indigenous culture, positive initiatives, language, and music to our youth. We offer a unique blend of top 40, hip-hop, R&B programming, and Indigenous music. You can count on Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM to help your voice be heard. Our interactive call-in shows feature locally produced news, sports, health, current affairs, and social issues. Unique programming with an Indigenous perspective. Listen live at jukasaradio.ca or download the Jukasa Radio app free from your app store.
So Joe, as we come back from the break, we're joined by one of the newest members of the ISC Hall of Fame, the recipient of the Bob Welby Award for contributions to the game, And the sponsor not only of the Hallman Twins here this week, but the Hallman Cubs, and a leading member of the host committee, Jim Hallman.
Good evening.
Good evening. We've been asking all of the new members of the Hall of Fame as they've come up, and we've had the opportunity to visit with them. What's the reaction when you get that call that the ISC is going to be putting you into the Hall of Fame?
Well, it's one of those mixed things. The like, you know, it's coming because, you know, people need to ask you and clear things, and you know, like, you know that you know it's coming. So when the ask actually does come, I'd almost forgotten about it. So when I was told, it was one of those things that you kind of take a second and go, Hall of Fame, yeah, okay, that's yeah, and you know, like I said in my remarks, that certainly didn't have a Hall of Fame on my radar screen at all. I'm not doing it for that kind of recognition, and actually it made me feel a little bit awkward because I don't think I'm you know, ready for the Hall of Fame yet.
In the remarks on Sunday at the ceremony, Dave Bailey, who along with Todd Martin were involved in your particular induction, talked about winning you over as a fastball fan, because you came to this through the family connections. Of course, Peter Hallman, we're here in Peters Park, but you came to this through the family connections. But it seemed like you grew to love the game.
Well, I grew up playing the game, you know, and being behind Peter, it was easy just to kind of sit back and let him carry the load and do the work, and you know, just let me go watch ball and play ball, and you know, so Peter was helping to sponsor the Twins when he died. So then when we were hosting the 2002, we needed to make that, you know, sort of commitment to carry on, and you know, I was proud to do it in his honor, and I really didn't have aspirations of, you know, getting sucked in like I have been. So they were Todd was quite correct, and you know, he's told that story a couple of times. He says, I knew when we had Jim as a sponsor, and you know, jumping up and down, and I do get quite animated. I really do enjoy enjoy the game, and you know, Sue and I, we just love watching it, and you know, and it's, you know, I gave it up for a couple of years, and it just didn't feel the same because you don't have any skin in the game. You're just watching a ball game, and when you're used to, you know, living and dying by the games, it's you know, it just adds that extra little bit of excitement for me.
How important is it to see this event here in Kitchener every few years to bring the world's best to Kitchener?
We've got great fans in Kitchener, as you can you know, tell by looking around the diamonds. You know, we've got a lot of people out here. It's a Monday night. You know, great fans. We got really great diamonds. The city puts a lot of work into keeping them in top shape, and we've got a good group of people that organize and stuff like that. So, you know, we want to keep trying to keep the fastball in front of people, and you know, it's hurting in some of the bigger, in the bigger centers. It's still fairly strong in the, in the smaller centers. So it's nice to bring the game to the masses type of thing.
You've got two teams here in the tournament, the Twins and the Cubs. The Cubs, big winners earlier today.
Yeah.
The Twins looking to keep up tonight. What do you do if they ever meet?
Well, that question's come up a couple of times because this is the closest they've ever been. Todd.
Jim cheers for one and Sue cheers for the other.
So my stock answer is the Twins better win because they're the bigger team. So, but in South Bend a couple of years ago, the Cubs did win. Did put the Twins out, and that was not. It was a good day for the Cubs, not a good day for me as a Twin.
That's a very political answer.
Yeah.
Well done.
During the break, I'll tell you my real feelings.
A lot of the Hall of Fame inductees here this week, I really was struck by how everybody talked about family, and you and Sue, are obviously very close to the players and the teams, and it really does become like family, doesn't it?
You know, it does. If it was just a matter of putting a team on the field and me staying home and, you know, getting it off Point Streak or off of your broadcast here, it'd be kind of hollow. You know, when you get to know the guys, you get to, you know, I go out to their morning practices and kid around with them a bit. They keep trying to get me to take some swings, and I've
declined so far.
So far declined. The last time I did that was years ago with Todd Martin, and
did he brush you back?
He hit me square in the ribs. No.
With Todd, it wouldn't have surprised me.
I know. It's his warm-up. No. And I swung. He was already back in the dugout having a swig of water by the time I got my swing finished. So it's been a long time since I've actually played, so it was kind of fun. But yeah, and you know, all the ball players, you know, all the fans, you know, everybody travels around together. Of course, this is the big one where everybody gets together. But the players see each other in league play or in tournament play, and you know, it's quite friendly, and that's one of the reasons I really like softball. It's not there's not a lot of arguing and fighting. There's no fighting, stuff like that
Right.
there are in other sports. It's quite gentlemanly, but they play hard.
Absolutely, they do, and none play harder than some of the guys that you've got. We're going to ask you to stay with us through the break if we can. We're chatting with Jim Hallman, one of the newest members of the ISC Hall of Fame. Stay with us here on the ISC Network.
Swung on and missed. Strike three, and the Kitchener River Shark Twins repeat. Back to back, yes! It's the local kid who wins it.
Swing and a miss. Jarvis, three-peats. Adam Falter, absolutely.
Here comes the throw to the plate. Are the world champions. 2015 ISC Men's World Champions.
Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run, and the Toronto Gators are world champions.
Finally, it's out on to first, and the United Chiefs back to the top of the mountain.
ISC Canada East, home of champions. So as you just saw, 10 years of ISC Canada East championships. That clip started with the Hallman River Shark Twins winning in 2008 and again in 2009. Todd Martin and then Dean Holline, the winning pitchers. You had a story about Dean Holline.
Well, as you know, Dean has been a major player in the ISC ranks for years and never won an ISC tournament. In 2008, when he was with the Aspen Interiors, we managed to come from behind through the loser bracket and beat them in the championship game, and Dino was quite upset about that. And his line was, well, if you can't beat him, join him. So he came with us the next year, and he was pretty significant. We had a hard-fought 1-0 game in the middle of the night after a long rain delay down in Quad Cities. And he pitched a gem and actually got the hit to win the game. So everybody else is out in the field jumping around and hugging each other and just having a grand old time. And I look over on the bench, and Dean Holline and his wife were just sitting on the bench, and Dean just laying back or just leaning back with his arms crossed, his feet crossed, and just this super content expression on his face, finally after all these years I did it. He was just enjoying watching everybody else go nuts, and him and his wife were just sitting there on the players bench just taking in the moment. And that's we've got a picture of it at home, and it's just one of my favorites, to allow somebody like that with such a career to finally win it and be so major in it. pitching and hitting.
Dean, of course, one of the true gentlemen in the game. You've got a number of top guys right now. It's almost like a Team Canada reunion out there on the infield.
Yep.
With the 2015 group. Talk about Brandon Horn, if you will, a local guy who is at the absolute top of the game.
Yeah, Brandon's kind of special. He came up through the junior ranks, and he played a little bit of ball with some other guys, but then we found him and got a hold of him as a young guy, and he just kind of stuck with us. He's had offers to go somewhere else, and he's been pretty loyal to me. We talk, once in a while, and he says, "No, Jim, as long as you're around, we'll do it." And he's kind of getting to the end of his career. He got married and he's got a baby now, so things change for him when that happens. And but it's great to see him out here. He's been with me for a long, long time. And he's a great kid. His mom and dad are always here with him, and just really enjoy guys like that.
There's a couple of guys who seemingly had hung them up that are still out here or have come back to play only with you guys. Thinking of Ian Fairman and Steve Mullally.
Yeah, they were both part of the River Shark Twins in 8 and 9, and they're really good ball players. And when they decided to pack it in, it was kind of disappointing because they were, sort of at the peak of their career, and there was no reason for them to pack it in, but family issues and work issues, and they've been doing it a long time. They've been doing it since 9, 10 years old, and a lot of travel, so it kind of weared on them. But I think, it's one of those deals that you're away from it and you miss it.
You get hungry for it.
Yeah, and you think you're still able, so actually Steve Mullally was the one that contacted our coach Steve Kuzer and said, look, I was talking to Ian a little while ago because they're both living close together now down south of Hamilton. And they said, look, we'd really like to make a comeback and help you guys win the tournament in Kitchener. And Kuzer texted me and kind of got my attention.
I'm sure it would.
These guys are great. Like Ian, there's no better shortstop, and Lolly can hit and field, and great team leader. Can even sing "O Canada" if you need him to.
He absolutely could. That's absolutely right.
Two great additions.
Yeah, and they're having great tournaments. Well, it's only been one game so far, but they've had great season up till now. They've both kind of just stepped in. They worked really hard over the winter down in Hamilton. They were down there, and they got a couple other guys like Brandon Horn went down with them, and a few other guys just hitting and working out in the gym and stuff. And so they've come in and been a real good addition.
Where do you think this team stands in terms of the opportunities to win one? This one is laced out into the gap. That is going to get cut off out near the fence by Teo Migliavaca, but the Black Knights will score first, as coming all the way around is Jeff Lewis on an RBI double by BJ Gullick. Does this team rank with the 08-09 teams, or you got to wait till the end of the tournament to find that out, I guess?
You have to wait till the end. It's tough on these early games. Of course, you want to have everyone a blowout and stuff like that, but that's not the way it works. The competition is so strong now. You ride your pitchers all the way through, and right now, it does look like Sean's struggling a little bit. But we'll see. Come Saturday, like the makings are there. Sean Sean's a good pitcher. We got good guys all the way through the order, and like you say, it's almost Team Canada on the infield, so that's not bad.
No, absolutely. You can scarcely go wrong with this particular infield.
But you still got to play the games.
Yes, you do. 2014, a little bit of disappointment coming oh so close in 2014.
Yeah, that was. We felt we had a decent team, not a killer team by any means, but we knew if things went our way, we would be as good as anybody. And one little error changed the course, and it was it's tough. There's no secret that I want to win one at home, and that was kind of heartbreaking for me. But again, I was happy. Second place in the ISC is not a bad finishing spot. There's lots of people that would like to be disappointed by second.
Chatting here with Jim Hallman, newest member of the ISC Hall of Fame, inducted on Sunday morning, and just absolutely a terrific ceremony and breakfast. I thought John Thompson, of course, does an absolutely great job with this event, but I don't think any of them are as good as they are here in Kitchener.
Well, it's John's home too, right? So he wants to make it special.
Absolutely, that's
and
true.
it was all Canadian. So John probably put a little bit extra work into it.
I'm sure he probably did. You must know Bruce Bierman very well, of course, and seen Paul Rosebush and Rob Gray and Sean O'Brien over the years.
Grazer and Sean have played for me over the years.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, that's that family atmosphere and those family connections. Must be pretty special having them involved in the ceremony on Sunday as well.
Yeah, and I have to acknowledge the ISC, the Hall of Fame committee, because my name was in a couple of years ago, and they actually held off to let me come in Kitchener. I thought that was pretty special.
I remember having that conversation with some people and others.
Well, you were on the committee.
Yes, I am, and and that was part of it.
Yep.
Being in the hometown, but I would have to think that it's as special anywhere, but being in the hometown makes it even more so.
It does. We could do it anywhere, but there was a lot of people in the audience that were local people that probably wouldn't have gone too far, so that was special.
Great to see a lot of your family there. Your mother was there.
My mom, 94, she was here the other night for the opening game, or for the right after the opening ceremonies, and she likes coming down here. I think it gives her a little bit of connection with Peter. Being in her, in the ball yard that was named after her, and I got a shout out too that Peter's widow Brenda is here in the crowd tonight. She still enjoys coming around and watching ball, and my sister comes once in a while, and my kids, my one daughter Carrie and her family were working down on the canteen, and so yeah.
Well, I came and found you in the canteen.
Yeah, I was working the canteen.
All right, as we wrap things up here with Jim Hallman, what's the parting message that you want to leave us with here tonight, aside from "Go Twins, go"?
Yeah, go Twins, go Cubs. No, just thanks for everything that the ISC does. Like everybody, a lot of people, kind of make a lot of bad remarks about the ISC. I've had nothing but good, positive. Results with the ISC. Whenever we've put on a tournament, they've been more than accommodating to what we want to do, and I don't have any issues at all. And just say hi to all the fastball fans that are following this, and don't follow it all off the radio. Come on down and be in the park.
Please do.
It's a beautiful night. There's lots of good food. We got a couple of food trucks out there. There's the beer tent. But the weather forecast is looking really good except for one day. And come on down and watch some good ball.
We look forward to seeing the stands full here again at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. And we thank Jim Hallman for joining us here in the broadcast booth up here on the ISC Network. Jim, congratulations again on the induction into the ISC Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much.
It could not be anybody more deserving. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Peter.
So while all of that was going on, that great conversation with Jim Hallman, the Fargo Kegel Black Knights pushed across a run as an RBI double by B.J. Gullick scored Jeff Lewis, who had reached on a fielder's choice. Speedy Jeff Lewis coming all the way around from first base on that RBI double, scoring without a throw at the plate. So we're back to the top of the shop for the Twins. Teo Migliavacca laces this one foul down the left side. And Joe, you cannot underestimate the impact that Jim Hallman has had on the fastball scene over the last 15, 16 years since the death of his brother Peter, and the Peter Hallman Ball Yard here, testament to the Hallman family and their love of fastball. But Dave Bailey did talk about Jim kind of needing to be won over, and he's obviously become hooked on the game, and it's pretty easy to do that, especially when you talk about the caliber of players and people that have been on the Hallman Twins over the years.
Well deserving of the award. He not only sponsors men's fastball, he also sponsors the minor programs, which is something we have to look forward to if we're going to continue on with this game.
Absolutely. You need the teams coming up into the men's ranks. You need the players coming up into the men's ranks. And they have to have those opportunities, and they need sponsorship for that. And I think that nobody does that better than Jim and Sue Hallman. And again, they are so very deserving of that award. Swing and a miss, gets past the catcher, but down to first. A good strong arm there by Zach Warren as he sidearmed that in and around Teo Migliavaca to get him at first. Good strong play.
Good play by Jeff Lewis to go to the inside part of that bag to pick up that throw from Zach Warren.
So Migliavaca down twice on strikes, can't get a break here at the top of the shop for the Twins. Brandon Horn, we just talked about Brandon and his place in Hallman Twins lore. Brandon, a stand-up triple his last trip. This one is flied out to left. Camping under that is Zach German. He'll make one step to his right, and he will reel that in for the second out of the inning. Brady Woods doing a good job here right now. He got into trouble back in the first, but got out of it, and right now carrying a 1-0 lead for the Fargo Kegel Black Knights.
3 consecutive strikeouts back in that second inning and leading off the third here with a big K. Derek Mason now at the plate for Water Hallman Twins. Derek Mason got on by way of a walk back in the first inning.
Call a strike on the inside corner. Woods has done a good job moving the ball around. This sets up that outside curve just over the front portion of the plate. Derek with that open stance strides into the ball. You sit there moving that front foot, moves in. And Jim talked about the crowd here. We got a good one still here at Peter Hallman Ball Yard as we are working on 10:20 Eastern time. I know a lot of the people back in Newfoundland wanted to stay up for this one. It's getting a little late out in Newfoundland, almost midnight.
Sleep's way overrated.
Well, for you maybe. I kind of like mine. Tried to hold back but couldn't. Gets a called strike there. Jeff Lewis way back of the bag at first. Even with the bag is Jim Harms over at third. Kyle Ezekiel very deep at short. And then shaded up the middle is Mike Lewis at second. And this one, geez, if that fence wasn't there, Joe, we had a shot at that one.
Great center field shot there by that. Sorry, great shot by the center field camera. And Zach Warren's doing a really good job giving good locations there for Brady Woods. Hitting his spots tonight.
Downstairs, there's a walk to Derek Mason. His second of the game continues to have the eye at the plate, and that will bring up Steve Mullally. Steve chased one up and out of the zone to go down swinging back in the first. opportunity here to get the Twins onto the board and to even things up. We have a bit of an upset to report as the number 4 team and last year's finalist, J&B Bombers, go down to the Ostrander Norsemen, 2-1. Daniel Chapman, who already has a no-hitter in the tournament. I'm going to have to go with Daniel Chapman getting the win tonight for Ostrander over the J&B Bombers. And that is an upset for sure.
J&B Bombers went to the championship game down in Grand Rapids last year.
Oh, big cut by Mullally down on strikes. Wow, Joe, good thing he had the shoes tied up. He would have come out of them. But strike 3 nonetheless. Mullally down on strikes ends the inning. And Brady Woods right now is handcuffing these Kitchener-Hallman Twins. Doing a good job out there for his Fargo Kegel Black Knights. They lead 1-0. We'll head to the 4th inning coming up.
A legendary pitcher. Unbreakable records.
That's got a mile. Goes a mile high to the wall, to the track. Say bye-bye baseball. And that ball is lifted up and going back to left field. What a great grab. Off speed is deep, and you can get out of this ballpark.
5 Hall of Famers. 3 World Championships.
And that ball is driven up deep.
Hit from fourth, it is driven deep. Shane Bowen to the fence. It's gone. Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run.
The Toronto Gators, gone but not forgotten.
Sean Cleary featured in a couple of those Toronto Gators clips, and now here in a Kitchener-Hallman Twins uniform, looking to add another World Championship title to his resume. He's got one with Jarvis and one with the Toronto Gators. Would love to win one for Jim and Sue Hallman here at home. But right now, Sean Cleary and the Twins trailing 1-0 to the Fargo Kegel Black Knights.
Sean Cleary with 5 strikeouts to this point, but with 3 walks.
Zach German leading things off for Fargo. Zach reached on one of those walks back in the 2nd inning.
Come on, Zach, come on.
Had a notion to chase that upstairs offering from Sean Cleary, but still not comfortable with that landing zone. Still doing work on it almost every pitch. You know, Joe Todd, when we had Laurie Cook-Baird in, the renowned pitching instructor during the last game, we talked with Laurie just quickly off air about some of her favorites, and she mentioned Sean Cleary as somebody that she has tracked for a while. And when you watch Sean pitch, it is a full body effort. He clears the hips, he's got the legs involved, and the pitch is a full body effort, not just an arm effort. And there's a lot of pitchers out there today who utilize the leap and the landing, but they're effectively arm throwers. And there's a few guys that come to mind that fall in that category. Sean Cleary, absolutely not. It is the whole body. He gets the arm clear, the hips, and comes around. It's the snap that he provides, and then you throw in a great changeup as well. And Sean Cleary really is the total package.
The part that I like of Sean Cleary's pitch delivery is the way he pushes off on his legs. He uses his legs to the full extreme.
Just misses inside.
The legs are so important in releasing that ball. Use your legs to throw. It all doesn't have to be your upper body.
And the drive coming from the legs before the delivery. This one is well hit, deep left field, gone! A solo home run for Zach Warren. Bit of a mistake there from Sean Cleary. Left it up and out of the plate. Zach Warren pulls that one down the left field line, and suddenly, just like that, Joe Todd, it's now 2-0 for the Fargo Kegel Black Knights. And the history of the Kitchener-Hallman Twins in this tournament, when it's held in Kitchener, is they lose early in the week and they have to claw their way back through the losers bracket. It happened in 08, it happened in 07, happened in 06, happened in 02. Is it happening here again?
Well, Sean Cleary and Jim Hallman and Sue Hallman don't want to see that again repeated. Going to have to try and find a way to put some runs on the board. Zach Warren got all of that. That ball got out of the park really quick.
Reaching up, chopping this one down the left field line, and it's booted by Mason in and out of the glove. Tried to get that on the short hop, couldn't handle it. And an E5, and things are cooking here for the Fargo Kegel Black Knights.
The lower part of the order coming through here now for Kegel.
I think Mason knew he was going to have to hurry on that play, and maybe that was on his mind as that one really just kind of clanked off the heel of the glove. So the 9 batter, Mitch Warren, down on strikes his first trip, and looking into the dugout as he swings after that one, Joe. Kind of pulled the head out.
Yeah, he lifted his head way too early. Keep your head down, stay with the pitch.
In for a strike, Sean Cleary had 0-2. Mitch Warren been around the game a little bit, but I'm wondering if he's like a younger brother of catcher Zach Warren.
I believe so.
Swing and a miss, that one downstairs, and not the best of at bats for Mitch Warren. He'll go back to the bench and have to come up with a better approach the next time. As we'll go back to the top of the shop, Kyle Ezekiel, very dangerous Kyle Ezekiel, aboard on a single and a walk tonight already.
Key part of the game right here. Just cannot allow Kegel to put another run on the board.
Called a strike at the top of the zone by home plate umpire Rob Duran. Teo Migliavaca is very deep out in center field. Normal depth for Lynch and Novacek. Out to Novacek, flared out to right. He'll haul that in for the final out of the inning. But a solo home run by Zach Warren extends the lead. It's now 2-0 for the Kegel Black Knights over the Hallman Twins.
When you're in St. John's, Newfoundland, you're at home. And you're never more at home than when you're at Kelly's Pub, right on famous George Street. Traditional live music and some of the best fish and chips in the city are what you'll get at Kelly's. One of the top fastball sponsors in the country is right here in St. John's. Kelly's Pub, live music, great food, and friendly service. Right around the corner is Three Cheers Pub, home of the 3-time Canadian national champions. Three Cheers is downtown St. John's friendly pub. Affordable drinks and great staff with buckets all day, every day. Three Cheers Pub is a proud fastball sponsor. Kelly's Pub and Three Cheers Pub, come and make yourself at home.
You get a great view right here, right now, what it is like to face Brady Woods as that pitch comes right into your living room with this great coverage brought to us by Sports Canada TV. Nick Cadis, we want to thank Nick for all of his hard work here over the last couple of days, getting us up on the air and then providing us with these shots. It was a Herculean effort, to say the least, to get us up on the air. Yesterday we had a couple of technical curveballs thrown our way. Nonetheless, we're thrilled to be bringing you this exciting coverage from the 2018 ISC World Tournament here in Kitchener, Ontario at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. The host team trailing right now 2-0 to the Fargo Kegel Black Knights. ISC Network, Blair Setford, Joe Todd. The nightcap here on the Monday at the ISC World Tournament. And it's really been positioning day, Joe. Most of the top seeds have gone through, but we just heard the news. Ostrander Norseman knocking off the number 4 seed and last year's finalist, the J&B Bombers from Los Angeles, California. They'll drop down into the losers bracket. They'll have to fight their way back through that losers bracket to if they want to make it to championship Saturday.
That'll really toughen up that bottom bracket.
Ian Fairman at the plate. Ian went down swinging in the first. He had a couple of home runs yesterday, 4 RBIs. That's a good start. In fact, that's a good tournament for a lot of people, for Ian Fairman, just getting things going.
Ian just wasn't set on that last pitch.
And swing and a miss, and I think he's getting troubled by the lefty here as Brady Woods has really handcuffed the top of the order and into the 5-6 spot. Ryan Boland batting 6th for the Twins. Ryan worked a walk in his first trip back leading off the second, but was stranded there by 3 successive strikeouts.
10 outs so far for the Kegel Black Knights, and Brady Woods have 9 of them.
Yeah, just the lone fly ball to left field by Brandon Horn for anything other than a strikeout. Ron Hackett, the coach down there at first base, showing you some good hands. Gotta bend the knees a little though, Ronnie. That got our home plate umpire again. Rob Duran is a sitting duck back there. That never even touched the glove of Zach Warren. Ryan Boland at least is commiserating with him, but boy, Zach Warren, boy, he beat a hasty retreat out of there. I would too if I didn't even get a glove on it. Holy cow, he's not going to get a call the rest of the game.
I hope he's going back to apologize here.
Oh my goodness.
Asking him if he's okay.
Yeah, wow, yeah, okay. Try getting a glove on it next time, son. 3-1, Ryan Boland, 1 down here in the 4th inning. The home half, the host team trailing 2-0 to the Fargo Kegel Black Knights. Big cut by Ryan Boland chasing after that 3-1 offering, now 3-2. And there's a little chopper on the infield. A strong throw by the shortstop, but safe. Ryan Boland beats out the throw from Kyle Ezekiel. As we talked earlier, Joe Todd, Kyle Ezekiel playing very deep, and that was a little slow roller out to short. And Ryan Boland, who runs well for a catcher, gets an infield base hit. Not too many of those in his career, I don't think.
Well, if Kyle had to do anything differently, he had to charge that ball a little bit quicker. Pick that ball up. It was a slow grounder, as you had talked about. By the time that Kyle had picked that ball up and fired it over to first base, the wheels of Ryan Boland was safe at first base.
Now, there's a sentence you don't hear very often. The wheels of Ryan Boland. I know I'm going to catch hell for this later when Ryan watches this on replay.
He's probably going to get me a drink or something.
Yeah, I know. He might be buying you around. Andy Skelton, the designated player at the plate. Andy down on strikes his last trip. You talk about guys with the potential to change the score. This is one of them. And a hard 1-2 hopper, and Jeff Lewis almost outplayed himself there. He sat back and waited for the extra hop, and it came up on him, but able to corral it.
Great defensive play there by Jeff Lewis. Always kept his eye on the ball and never made sure that the ball was never going to get away from his body. The ball bounced high on him up in the upper part of the shoulder.
The little conference on the mound here as 2 down, yes, with a runner on second here in the fourth. It'll be Jeff Novacek looking to drive in Ryan Boland and trying to cut this deficit in half. Called a strike. Novacek out of Michigan, and a player who is in the American U.S. 40-man pool, the U.S. men's national team. They'll be off to the Czech Republic in the Intercontinental Cup later this month. I was downstairs talking with Nick Hayes right before game time. Nick will be with the New Zealand Black Sox squad that will attend the Intercontinental Cup. That is serving as a test event for next year's World Cup in Prague. Downstairs from Brady Woods. And I wonder, Joe Todd, if Brady knows that the Canadian national team brass will be here this week. And I know for a fact that they're watching. They've got to be impressed by this outing from Brady Woods.
Brady has thrown a real great game tonight.
Here's a little flare. That's going to drop in front of center fielder Mitch Warren, and Ryan Boland. The wheels of Ryan Boland come all the way around from second base, and he keeps those wheels right on rolling into the dugout to high fives as the Twins get on the board. An RBI single by Jeff Novacek.
The ball kind of died on Mitch Warren up in the air, so he had to play it as he did. Ryan Boland doing a good job reading that ball off the bat. Third base coach picking up Ryan and sending him to the home plate area. Picking up the first run of the ball game for the Hallman Twins.
Jonathan Lynch, another good young American prospect for their national team. He will step in. He's a graduate of the U.S. junior men's team and moving into contention for the senior men's squad. And this one gets by the catcher, Zach Warren, all the way to the screen, and easily up to second base goes Jeff Novacek. An opportunity here for the Hallman Twins to get this one tied up. We're going to get a mound visit now. And out comes the skipper for Fargo Kegel Black Knights, and if you can read that one, Joe, you are a far better man of signature reading than I am.
Nope.
Not even close, huh?
Looks like my doctor's signature.
Well, it was a brief visit. I think just a reminder that you've got 2 out. You've got a good count here, 2-0. It's a good hitter's count, so don't lay anything in. Don't give in. Make Jonathan Lynch earn something here. That's quite the closed stance that he's got at the plate, Joe.
And pigeon-toed on both feet, really.
This one is laced into the gap. We're going to have a tie game for sure. That is going to one-hop over the fence. It'll be a ground rule double as Jonathan Lynch will speed into third and do a full almost victory lap before heading back to second base. But we got ourselves a tie ball game. Jonathan Lynch with an RBI double, trading places with Jeff Novacek. And it's the bottom of the order, Joe, that's getting the job done right now for the Hallman Twins.
Exactly. 2 singles and a double now for the Hallman twins, that bottom part of the order, as you talked about, contributing, tying this game up. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Back to the top of the shop, Teo Migliavaca will come on for the Hallman twins. Teo, a couple of strikeouts here, unable to get on track. And the wheels wobbling maybe a little bit here for Brady Woods, is now getting their 3rd look.
Momentum starting to shift here now.
And here's a chopper on the infield. Ezekiel can't get a glove on it, and coming around to score easily is Jonathan Lynch. And just like that, Joe Todd, in the span of 4 batters, the Hallman twins take the lead. That was a seeing eye single. The very definition is right under the glove of Kyle Ezekiel. The outstretched glove just couldn't flag that down, and it hopped out to the outfield. And coming around easily is Jonathan Lynch, who runs very well. And 3 runs down at the bottom of the order. Teo Migliavaca gets off the schneid for the Hallman twins, and that'll bring up the very dangerous Brandon Horn. Migliavaca has got very good wheels out at first. Keep an eye on him for a stolen base threat. And Brady Woods suddenly looks like he's laboring a little bit, Joe.
Yes, he's hasn't had that zip that he had earlier in the game.
Huge lead by Migliavaca. He was a 1/3 of the way down to second base.
It's a very good jump.
Woods slings that one in, but he misses downstairs. 3-0 the count. After Horn, it's the meat of the order for the Hallman twins. Mason, Mullally, Fairman, Boland. Strike on the outside corner. Derek Mason, 2 walks. He would love the opportunity to swing the bat.
Kegel Black Knights need to shut the door here now.
On the move, ball 4 upstairs to Brandon Horn. Migliavaca had a great jump, but no need as Horn works the walk. Derek Mason, the 8th batter this inning. I haven't seen any sign of Kim Hansen getting up in that Fargo dugout. Downstairs.
4 walks to Brady Woods now.
Big cut, a little late by Derek Mason, comes up empty. And wanted to hold back, but couldn't. Just out of your frame, Kyle Ezekiel bird dogging Teo Migliavaca over at second base, trying to keep him close. This one inside to Mason. 2 speedsters out on the bases. Teo Migliavaca at second, Brandon Horn at first. Time called at the plate by Mitch Warren, or Zach Warren rather. Mitch is in center field, of course. And this one gets right through. Everybody's going to advance up 60 feet. And now, Joe, you've got some insurance runs in scoring position.
Brady Woods having a real tough time hitting the target set up by Zach Warren for the last 2 or 3 batters.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you put Derek Mason on here knowing how you have successfully handled Steve Mullally so far, or do you think that the averages might favor Mullally at this point?
I wouldn't do that.
Here's a little bleeder. It's bobbled, and a run scores by Migliavaca as Jim Harms is unable to come up with that little slow roller, almost too slow, as I think he was trying to get that out of the glove before he really had it. And an E5 allows Teo Migliavaca to race home. Brandon Horn had to stay at second, and now you're going to face Steve Mullally with a couple of guys on regardless.
Wheels have fallen off here for the Kegel Black Knights.
Still no sign of Kim Hansen. Mullally looks at one off the dish. Do not be surprised if Steve Mullally breaks out right here, right now. You shouldn't be surprised. He's done it so many times in the past. Four runs already in for the Hallman Twins here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Lucky fours. And this one is drilled foul down the right side.
Both times probably Steve has gone back to the bench and tried to regroup. Put on a great inspirational speech at the U16 tournament a few weeks ago in Interkip, but part of his story was forget about the past, you can't change the past.
And this one is laced out to right field, going back, making the catch, reaching up to haul it in is BJ Gullick. He limits the damage, but the Kitchener-Hallman Twins score 4 big runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and they will take a 4-2 lead heading to the top of the 5th here on the ISC Network.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Fargo Kegel Black Knights with some work to do now as we go to the top of the 5th inning. They'll have 3 at-bats to try and recover those couple of runs off of Sean Cleary. He comes in upstairs to Jeff Lewis leading things off. Jeff has one of the runs for Fargo here tonight. He reached on a fielder's choice and came around on an RBI double by BJ Gullick. Big swing and a miss, comes up empty. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jeff Lewis, leading things off here at the top of the 5th inning for the Kegel Black Knights.
Big part of the order for the Kegel Black Knights. Jeff Lewis and BJ Gullick. They want to come back up in that 7th inning. They got to get on base here.
There's a 42-footer from Sean Cleary, and I'm surprised it didn't hit our home plate umpire, Rob Duran. Everything else has tonight. Big inning for the Hallman Twins in the bottom of the fourth. They put up 4 and lead 4-2. Important now for Sean Cleary and the rest of the Twins to have a shutdown inning. Fouled right back, and again, Joe Todd, but for the fence, we would have had a souvenir. Two balls, 2 strikes. Jeff Lewis, the leadoff batter. 0 for 2, but did reach on the fielder's choice, as we talked about. Now 0 for 3, down on strikes again for the second time tonight.
I'm pretty sure Jeff Lewis's name was one of the winners of the Carol Forbes Scholarship Awards 1 year, 2 years ago, possibly.
I think that is a good possibility. We could check, since we do have ISC guides here this week. Michael Lewis was a recipient in 2016, as well as in 2015 and 2014.
So is Michael. That
very studious young lad.
So is Michael, his brother, the older brother that has picked up the scholarship.
Gullick swings over the top of that one. And again, swings over the top of that one. And Ryan Boland, I guess, didn't like the location of that or something, because he threw it back harder than it came in. And that will happen from time to time with Ryan. He'll get a little upset with Sean and fire a seed back his way. And then Sean will throw a 38-footer in return.
Yeah, we'll get even.
The games within the games. Want to give a shout out to Margaret Ryan and our good friend Betty Monfries downstairs. You see them right there, right in behind home plate, just to your right, our umpire left of that camera shot, in the blue and the green chairs. Our super fans here this week, as several others are as well, but Betty and Marg amongst our favorites here, Joe.
Yes. Great ambassadors for the game, love the game, try to make it to every ballpark they can.
Swing and a miss, down goes B.J. Gullick. 2 in a row for Sean Cleary. He'll bring up Mike Lewis, the aforementioned Mike Lewis, and the serial recipient of scholarship funding from the Carol Forbes Foundation, and good for him. It's great to see young men continuing in the game here, as well as continuing with their academic studies and applying that. The game needs some smarter people, Joe.
No, yes.
Because it ain't us, I'll tell you that. Upstairs from Cleary. Turned into a beautiful night here in Kitchener. Still a lot of activity out in the beer garden, I can see. We are the last game standing on all of the diamonds here at 10:58 p.m. in the Eastern Time Zone. Called strike. And swing and a miss. Sean Cleary strikes out the side. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And if Sean has finally found some comfort out there on the mound, it could be a quick couple of innings remaining here for the Kegel Black Knights. They trail 4-2. We're going to head to the home half of the fifth coming up. Stay with us here on the ISC Network.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
It'll be Ian Fairman to lead things off for the Kitchener-Hallman Twins. Ian hasn't had a whole lot of luck with Brady Woods here tonight. Neither has Steve Mullally, for that matter.
Brady Woods has their number tonight.
Joe, couple scores as we are the last game standing. Bloomington Sticks 5-4 winners over the Toronto Batmen. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, Ostrander Norseman 2-1 upset winners over the J&B Bombers. All of the scores can be found via the ISC website at iscfastpitch.com. Click on the ISC Shield logo right underneath the main photo carousel. That will take you to the point streak page, and you can get all of the scores from every day of the tournament. Swing and a miss by Fairman. Down on strikes for the third time tonight, Joe. So how quickly the worm turns on Ian Fairman. On fire yesterday, ice cold today.
Yes, not every game you're going to have that good fortune. So Ian Fairman will have to try and turn that around in the next game.
So out comes the speedy Ryan Boland. And here's a chopper on the infield, and he's not going to be able to put those wheels to good use this time, as Brady Woods will beat him to the bag. 1-3 on your scorecard at home. Andy Skelton will come up, and Brady Woods is 2/3 of the way to having a really good inning. It's called strike. And a big looping cut from Andy Skelton. You might have felt the breeze from that one all the way at home. And this one is lifted high out to left field. Zach German is going to circle the wagons a little bit. He zigged and zagged, but he tracked it down. And a 1-2-3 inning for Brady Woods, his first of the game. And that comes in the bottom of the fifth. But he needs some offensive help from his Fargo Kegel Black Knight teammates. They trail 4-2 as we head to the top of the sixth here on the ISC Network.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program. If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York or see us online at MrNedNYC.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Var Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports and Exit Speed Swing. Focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product, Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball.
Ryan Kirk will try to get things going for his Fargo Kegel Black Knights against Sean Cleary, his provincial cousin, I guess, if you will, Joe Todd. Both hailing from Newfoundland and Labrador, the greater St. John's area. Swing and a miss by Jeff Kirk.
Well, we had talked about early in the game that if you're going to get to Sean Cleary, get him early. As the game progresses, he gets that much stronger. Last inning, back in the fifth inning, was the first inning he went 3 consecutive strikeouts.
And here's a little flare out on the left. That's going to fall in front of Jonathan Lynch. And aboard with a single is Ryan Kirk. So, Joe, there's the bloop.
Yep.
Do you think you can get the blast?
Well, we need the bleep in the between.
Well, that's a 3-run home run then.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that would give them the lead. I was just thinking the tie.
I
heard you say that earlier, the bloop, the bleep, and the blast. But that's a 3-run home run.
Yeah. Being the late game of the night, I'd rather have the game over in 7.
Well, now you're cheerleading.
Well, I don't care for who.
Oh, okay. All right. That's true. So Zach German at the plate, squares to bunt. Curious. You need 2, not 1. Give up one of your 6 outs that are remaining.
Yeah,
I don't like that call.
Not at all. And I'm a fan of the bunt.
I know you like bunting. Now swinging away and foul back to the screen. Not a deep bench for Fargo Kegel Black Knights. Kim Hansen, Wayne Petrie, and John Lewis. Pretty much dance with the girl that brung you.
Yes, you have to.
Fouled off his shoulder in the box, so we'll do that one again. That's a dead ball foul at the plate. Another one of our super fans, Tim Mazurowski, still down there. Maz out of Pennsylvania drives up to Ontario just about every weekend for one tournament or another. He was here for the Kitchener Peter Hallman Memorial Tournament at the end of June. The next weekend he was in Oswego for the Hill United Invitational. He was up for the Tavistock Tournament. He would have been in Elkland for that tournament the third weekend in July. Not sure if he made it over to Denmark for the boys this summer or not.
I'm pretty sure he did, and he made it to the ASAs in South Bend.
Tim, who is retired and is among the biggest fast pitch, softball, fastball fans around, and has the ability to get around the country. Also, the mustard man brings the special mustard from the Cleveland ballpark out early in the year, and if you happen to catch him, he'll give you a bottle. It is great stuff.
Love it.
Bertman's special mustard. Swing and a miss over the top by Zach German. So Sean Cleary, 4 to the last 5 outs by way of the strikeout. And even more if you want to go back to the 4th inning. Sean has picked up 6 in the last 2 1/3 innings.
Got to be careful here with Zach Warren.
Well, this one gets off the glove of Bolin. He's going to throw it down somewhat ill-advisedly, quite honestly. That throw almost had center field written all over it, except for a pretty good effort there by Brandon Horn to flag that down.
Not a good bounce off the screen, but good wheels by Ryan Kirk getting down that line. Ryan falling behind to Zach Warren. 2 balls, no strikes. Coming right down Broadway for the first strike on Warren.
Chop foul at the plate.
I think Rob Duran was bailing it all.
Boy, yeah, he has taken a beating back there tonight.
He saw the fall ball, and I'm getting out of here.
He's got my 100% admiration for hanging in there, I'll tell you that. It'll be black and blue tomorrow. Him and Lou Davis. And Brandon Bloom, I think even he got one coming on in relief there last game. Gary Johnson in the previous game, too. He took a couple. Swing and a miss, took something off. Great change up there from Sean Cleary, who has a very good one. Bring up Jim Harms.
Hey, Jimmy! Third baseman, number 15, Jim Harms.
Jim, a veteran of the game, the Fargo, Sioux Falls area down into South Dakota. Remember Jim, I think, with the Sioux Falls Sox back in the early mid-2000s. Swing and a miss there. Tried to tie that game up with one swing right there.
Real tight batting stance.
I think you'll see Ryan and Sean work that changeup in a little bit more often here in the later innings. They didn't showcase it a lot in the earlier part of the game. There's a called strike. I don't think that was on the swing.
Hey, Jimmy! Come on, Jimmy! Come on. Hey, you're in control here. Come on. All around the edge here. Come on, Bolly. We'll give you. Come on, Tony. Come on, Jimbo.
And an awkward-looking swing. Down on strikes goes Jim Harms. The second straight inning that Sean Cleary picks up 3 Ks. Getting stronger indeed. Joe, you talked about it. Got to get to him early. They did. Maybe not enough, though, as we will head to the home half of the 6th. Coming up for the Hallman Twins, it'll be Jeff Novacek, Jonathan Lynch, and then back to the top of the shop, Teo Migliavaca. Stay with us. See how it all turns out.
to an ISC event? Then stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages to see when the next event will be near you and come be a part of the experience.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available.
Jeff Nowacek now leading off for Hallman Twins in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nowacek 1 for 2 so far. Big run scored back in that 4th inning. That 4th inning putting the 4 runs on the board by the Hallman Twins. Nowacek very deep in the box. Brady Woods trying to pick that corner, not getting the strike call. Woods with a pitch in the release. Ball flared out to Jeff Lewis at first base for the first out of the inning. Now going down to that speedy number 9 batter for the Hallman Twins, the left fielder Jonathan Lynch. Lynch had a double back in that big, powerful inning we just talked about, with a big RBI too. Lynch trying to lay down a bunt, but going down that third base line, but foul. Corners for the Kegel Black Knights, Jim Harms on the third base side and Jeff Lewis on the first base side. More aware and playing a little shallower. Big strike there by Brady Woods. Way up in the count now. 0-2. Lynch mad at himself for following through with that bad swing, but getting a piece of the plate, following it off, trying to get his pitch. Jonathan Lynch trying to set up that top part of the order for the Hallman Twins. Lynch fouling that second pitch off now. Brady Woods doing a good job trying to stay around that plate. That's a good camera shot of the stance there of Jonathan Lynch. Time was called by Lynch. He wasn't comfortable. Time was granted by home plate umpire Rob Duran. Ball flied out to left field, going very deep. Ball tracked in and traced down by Jack German for the second out of the inning. Ball hit really deep though. A lot of power in that upper body by Jonathan Lynch. Going the opposite way there too. Going back up now to the top of the shop for the Hallman Twins. Center fielder Teo Migliavaca. Migliavaca driving the ball off field again. Going out to Zach Germain for a second hit of the game for Teo Migliavaca. Back-to-back singles now. Single back in that 4th inning. Followed up by a single back here in the 6th inning. Brandon Horn now at the plate. Kegel Black Knights need to shut the door here. They want to chance it. Rallying coming from behind. Teo Migliavaca getting good jump off that bag. Horn following that pitch off. Not getting all of it. Steal in the way by Teo Migliavaca. Ball on the outside corner of the plate. Would have been a real tough play by Zach Warren. Again, a spot where Brady Woods just did not hit the target. Another runner in scoring position for the Hallman Twins. One ball and one strike to Brandon Horn. Horn deep in the batter's box. Pitch in the release. Great drop ball there by Brady Woods. Fooled Brandon Horn. Brandon not coming close to that pitch. You'll see if Warren calls that drop ball again. Great call, but just missed off the plate. Brandon Horn looking for his second hit of the game. Had a triple back in that 1st inning. Stranded at 3rd. Brandon Horn going down on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning. Hallman Twins putting a hit on the board, but stranding him at second base. So as we head to the top of the 7th inning, Kegel Black Knights have to rally for a couple of runs to stay in this game. Leadoff batter will be Mitch Warren, the center fielder, and we're coming back with Kyle Ezekiel and then Jeff Lewis.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Kitchener River Shark Twins repeat. Back-to-back Jets! It's the local kid who wins it.
Swing and a miss. Jarvis. 3-peats. Adam Falkert. Absolutely.
Here comes the throw to the plate. Are the world champions.
2015 ISC Men's World Champions.
Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run, and the Toronto Gators are world champions.
Fittingly, it's Adam on to first, and the United Chiefs back to the top of the mountain.
ISC Canada East, home of champions.
So last call here for the Kegel Black Knights. Mitch Warren, the center fielder. Kegel Black Knights need base runners, got to make things happen. Sean Cleary, the 5th and the 6th inning, both with 3 strikeouts in both of those innings. Sean with the pitch in the release, Warren going down on that first strike. Cleary just throwing BBs right now. Him and Ryan Bolin have finally clicked and got on that same page. Cleary just missing on the outside corner of the plate. 1-1 count now to Warren. That leadoff batter can get on it, can set up the whole inning. Warren very late on that pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Warren. Cleary sets him down on strikes. Warren looking at that 3rd strike pitch. 14 strikeouts now for Sean Cleary. 2 runs put on the board so far and 4 hits given up by Sean. All the walks early in the game. Sean finally found his timing and location. Kyle Ezekiel now at the plate. The leadoff batter for the Kegel Black Knights. Kyle with 1 hit so far in the game. A single back in the 3rd inning. 1 for 2 so far. Had a walk back in the 1st. One and 1 to Ezekiel. Ezekiel very late on that pitch as well. John working that Gorilla Gold in the back pocket. Pitch high and outside, upstairs. Just up trying to tease Kyle Ezekiel. Two balls, 2 strikes now. Ezekiel fouling the ball off. Great attempt there by Steve Mullally. Went down probably 15, 20 feet off that first base line. Very close to the Kegel Black Knights dugout, but unable to track it down for the second out of the inning. Kyle Ezekiel go back up to the plate now with a 2-2 count. Great hustle there by Mullally. Great range. Got a good little battle going here between Kyle Ezekiel and Sean Cleary. And Sean Cleary winning that battle, sitting down Kyle Ezekiel for the second out of the inning. Jeff Lewis now coming to the plate with 2 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Lewis looking for his first hit of the game. Scored a run back in the 3rd inning. Jeff Lewis, one of these spark plugs on these Kegel Black Knights. Kegel Black Knights would love to keep this game going. Strike call on Jeff Lewis. Sean Cleary attempting to close this game out in style. Ball outside and off the plate. Good scoop there by Ryan Bolin. One ball and 1 strike to Jeff Lewis. Lewis way behind on that pitch. Sean Cleary's just done a great job ever since that 4th inning, quieting these bats of the Kegel Black Knights. Sean throwing in a drop ball, missing the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Lewis now. Lewis going down on strikes. Waterloo Hallman Twins picking up the big victory here tonight, 4-2. Sean Cleary closing the game out in style with 9 consecutive strikeouts, 3 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, and 3 in the 7th, closing out the game. Sean Cleary doing a great job with 16 strikeouts, 3 walks, only giving up 2 runs on the 4 hits. Very dominant performance. Kegel Black Knights coming out with the 2 runs back in the 1 run in the 3rd inning and 1 run in the 4th inning. Then a Hallman Twins finding that reply to those runs put on the board with a 4 big run inning, 4th inning, 4 hits, 1 run. Big 4th inning, walking away with the victory tonight.
Sean Cleary with 11 of the final 12 outs by way of the strikeout. Absolutely dominant at the end. And Joe Todd, you talked about if you're going to get to Sean Cleary, you got to get to him early. Boy, you were absolutely bang on right about that. Great way to finish the night here on the ISC network.
Okay, for the rest of the crew, Steve Saber and Alan Edmansky, Blair Setford and myself will be back tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. And Nick Askadis of Sport TV Canada. Great job all day. Stay tuned for our broadcast starting at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you.